The May report wasn't that good on the economy, but the June report looks a little bit better. We're going to be talking about the point between the middle of June, beginning of June toward the end of June, what's going on in the economy. The government is still divided. There was a Fed meeting on the 14th of the month where they decided to pause any type of rate increases. For 15 months in a row, we've been having rate increases which amounts to about 5%, so that's really hurting the economy. The federal funds rate is something the Federal Reserve uses in order to lend money to their best customer. That rate is at 5.25, which is fairly high. And it appears that the White House budgets is looking to raise more taxes on corporate and high net worth individuals. That may have adverse effects. JP Morgan says there's a 50% chance of recession. The Bureau of Labor Statistics job numbers have gone down from 250,000 claims in April to 230,000 from 230,000 in March to 250 in April have gone up. I'm sorry about that. Student loan payments should resume very shortly. We're still waiting for the Supreme Court to make the final decision on whether they're going to forgive student loans. It looks like the debt ceiling problems are behind us. It appears that neither side was 100% satisfied with it. Inflation rate for May was 4%. It was the smallest increase, but keep in mind that is not a real wage increase. We're going to talk about that in another video. So over the course of the last 12 months, we've had a raise in prices in some factors in used cars, in housing, food prices, and transportation. There's something called the yield curve inversion. And what that is basically, it tells you whether people have confidence in the United States government in short term, making short-term commitments versus long-term commitments. And that's called the yield curve. An inversion of that is when people don't have the confidence to lend the money to the government for longer periods of time, like 10 years. They rather lend it for short periods of time, like 2 years, because they don't have the confidence that there's going to be that 10 years down the road things are going to be that great. There's also something called the ISM PMI. This is the Purchasing Managers Index. This is important because what this tells you is what kind of confidence that purchase managers have in the future of the economy. And that seems to be dropping, which means typically they ask the purchase managers what are their plans for employment, for inventory, for purchasing the next 6 months, and it appears that they're not that optimistic. Consumer price index was slightly up, it was slightly down, which is really good. Incidents throughout the world, in China, you may have heard that there is spying being done there since 2019. The Chinese debt is huge. Their Belt and Road Initiative, where they're trying to build our infrastructure in the world, doesn't seem to be working. China is open. They continue to buy Russian oil. And also, another issue on credit card debt. It's extremely high. This is not a good sign. People are taking out a lot of credit card debt. The Nord Stream pipeline, the question has come that there may have been involvement from, I really don't want to say the West, but they're saying that the Nord Stream pipeline bombing may have had something to do with the West. George Soros, the philanthropist, has decided to turn over his philanthropic fund over to his son. This is a $26 billion fund that contributes to political entities. The AI craze continues with language models. NVIDIA is now the 7th $1 trillion company. I believe it may have dropped just below that. The question with AI is regulation. Elon Musk warns about AI and says we should pause. As far as crypto is concerned, Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, says we need to have regulation. I agree with her. There were some recent lawsuits against Coinbase and Binance. It seems like FTC is behind this. The European Central Bank, unlike the Federal Reserve, decided to raise interest rates 2.5%. We talked before about the reparations bill in California. It seems like the Governor Gavin Newsom has changed his mind. As far as housing is concerned, interest rates are still high. Residential properties are renting much higher from month to month. New construction is up. A lot of the home builders are doing well. There is a shortage in housing in America. It's been a shortage for a very long time. We talked about interest rates. They're high, so that's stopping a lot of people from buying homes, and those who are locked in at lower rates, 2 and 3%, are very hesitant to sell their homes. Ukraine war continues. Russian losses have been substantial, as well as Ukrainian losses. It's cost the American government about $77 billion to support this war so far. In other parts of the world, like the Sudan, there's a tremendous refugee problem. There are problems in Greece. The Standard & Poor's seems to be holding its own. That's about it. I'd like to thank you very much for your time. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and you have a great day. Bye.